I think probably biggest expectation, things that are going to happen is the commitment. Once you sign up on that list, saying that you're going to commit to being a part of a task force or a unit out of our organization to go onto a MOB, it could be anywhere in the state. One of the biggest things I see over the years is folks commit but don't really understand the commitment. We say 7 days, and I think people just don't they don't fully grasp that 7-day concept because it really is. And that is an expectation of mine, it's an expectation of the districts and the counties that when you say you're going to commit for 7 days to go on these, that you can truly go out for 7 days and you need to be prepared to be unencumbered, not having to worry about your job to get back to worry about, are my kids taken care of? Those are first priorities in your life, and you need to make sure those are taken care of before you make that commitment. As we never know when fires are going to pop, we try to watch, what the State Fire Marshal's office is doing, things coming from their news wire. We watch NWCG online or NWCC, the website, to see what fires have opened up in the state. So we try to keep a pulse of what's going on and things we may be called to. So we try to get as much early heads up as possible. As I said, the state strives to give us as much heads up as possible, but we never know when it's going to happen. Sometimes we kind of have an inkling, or the state will call and say, hey, just be aware, we got this fire going, it's burning towards some homes, what have you. That's nice to get that, but that doesn't always happen. I tend to kind of say more toward the afternoon, evenings, because fires tend to blow up in the afternoons and go beyond, maybe the IC on a fire or whatever. It goes beyond what they've expected, and that usually happens in the afternoon. So we tend to get watch outs or hey, heads up. It tends to come late afternoons to evenings because that's when fires blow up, and all at once they need resources, and we need to respond quickly and react quickly to that. Need to get to the station quickly, as I said. Ensure that you're already packed, ready to go. So basically you're throwing your gear bags onto the unit, heading to a mobilization point. There's 4 MOB points designated basically here in Lane County. If we're going south on a mobilization, it's Goshen. If we're going east over into the flatlands over there, it's now the Leeburg Station, McKenzie. If we're going north, it's Coburg, and if we're going west toward the coast, it's Station 101 here in Bonita. Get there to the MOB point, stay as a unit, maintain that integrity, stay with your engine boss if you're a firefighter. Get to the MOB point, there's paperwork to do. There's just a lot of hustle and bustle there. So ensure your own readiness. Be set to go and follow orders from your engine boss or your engine company officer when you get there. Be available for them to help out because they are going to have their own paperwork to fill out and what have you, and may need assistance with other things. Get to fire camp, usually a task force leader, first and foremost is finding exactly who you need to talk to, usually a resource unit leader when you get to fire camp. So finding them, staying as a task force. You have to go through a check-in process when you get there. They will come out and inspect units, check everyone's paperwork, your SPF-01 form, make sure everybody's properly documented and all that. And then normally, because of travel times we have, sometimes you can go right out on the line. Other times they may rest you or bed you down and then start you up on the next shift. Just depends on the urgency when you get there as a task force. Are you the first task force there and the firefight's on, or are you the 4th or 5th task force in and you're just going to be filling shifts as they come up? So it all depends. Oftentimes when I've gotten there and went right out on the line, I've gotten there and went to bed for 8 hours. So it just depends. expect that there's going to be some hurry up and wait. I know oftentimes back in my days from being a firefighter on an engine company, sometimes it seems like it's maybe somewhat clustery, and it can be at times. There's a lot of resources for them to manage, a lot of resources for task force leaders to manage, and until they get the routine down, you know, the daily morning briefing and getting out on the line, it can be a little bit of struggle to get everybody lined up and kind of get the routine set. But once you get there, get assigned a shift, whether you're day or night, you know, you need your rest. It's up in the morning or up in the evening, off to breakfast or meal, and then immediately back to your unit. And ensure your unit's ready, ensure your crew's ready, ensure you're stocked for your shifts with plenty of food, water, all those things, and await orders from your task force leader. Your task force leader is going to be going to that daily briefing or shift briefing far before you may even get up, and then they're going to come back and they're going to have your task force assignment for the day and be able to line out where you're headed, what you're doing, what those expectations are, and then talk about, you know, the actual fire. Where is it? How big is it? You know, what are the safety things that need to be watched out for on this particular fire, because everywhere is different. You know, you could be dealing with rattlesnakes on the east side and heavy snag timber in the Coast Range. You just never know what the factors are going to be. That's oftentimes difficult just because there is such a mass of people that are camping there, and camp runs 24/7. There's vehicles in and out, shifts are coming in and out. There's also contract units there coming in and out all hours. Delivery trucks delivering supplies to camp. They try to keep camp in a pretty tight-knit area, so it's a 24/7 area. So sleep may not always be the easiest there, but we do try to get our folks bedded down at night, at least get folks in their tents for that 8-hour period so they do get some rest. We're an insurance policy. Oftentimes we get called into these conflagrations because, you know, fire is near homes, and that's a good thing. We're getting called in just in case it gets there, rather than getting called in because it's there and burning them down when we get there. So we're a what if insurance policy, that if it does make the urban area, gets into homes and structures and what have you, that they're to protect those. So whether or not you see action always is dependent on, you know, how the fire has progressed, how long they've waited before they pulled the trigger to get you there. It's going to be dynamic. I've been on mobilizations where I did nothing but sit on homes in a subdivision for 5 or 6 days, and that, albeit not glorious, but we were there for a reason. And if the fire conditions had changed, we may have been in the firefight, and it would have been a darn good thing we were there. And then other ones, you actually get to go out and see some action. Maybe not big action, but you actually get to move some fire around structures and, you know, put up sprinkler kits on some homes and some other things like that. Structure triage, and another big component down there when you go on these mobilizations is just your unit being a PR component for the fire and being a positive force and a positive image out there for the incident command team.
The biggest thing you're going to run into, that initial call, they want you there now. Hence why you want to keep your stuff in a bag where you can grab it and throw it in the truck. So the most important part of it is making sure you're prepared ahead of time. When we actually get the call to go out isn't the time to start gathering up everything you need. Best thing you can do is go down and get some type of bag. Bags like this at Walmart, are relatively inexpensive. That way you can have everything you need in one bag, with the exception of your turnouts, the wildland gear, and that kind of thing. So, first thing you need to have is obviously clean clothes, shower supplies, And keeping them in a separate bag inside the bag makes it convenient. Also a bag to put the dirty clothes in on your way back. Obviously you need things for camp, a sleeping bag, some type of mattress to sleep on if you wish, and a tent to sleep in. Things like prescriptions, you want to keep those in a place. If you need to take them with you, you can grab them very easily, keeping them in a small container at home. Big thing, cell phone chargers, and if you have a camera, a charger for your camera. Most of the vehicles now have some means to plug into it. The Engine Boss kits that I put together will have, I'll try to get an iPhone and Android cord along with a USB adapter, so there'll at least be something in the vehicles. We want to try to make sure you bring yours just in case that doesn't get grabbed. You're going to be in line for a while getting most showers. You want to avoid things like shorts and sandals in fire camp. They do frown on that for the most part. One more thing to remember is things like wet wipes, the personal type stuff. Sometimes the line to the shower is longer than you want to wait there for.